sober for these past 3 years. And yeah, that journey for me, what was it like getting over alcohol and kind of getting on with my life? So I was a heavy drinker. I was putting down at least like 2 to 3 30 racks of Miller Lite over the course of a week. So between 60 to 90 cans of beer every week. I was drinking. And I, for some odd reason, thought that I could do that and sustain a normal lifestyle, which was very clear from really the outset of drinking that much alcohol that wasn't going to be the case. Almost just based on how weird my life was during this period. So I was in the Air Force for a lot of this time. I got out in 2019, so the last 2 years of my drinking was spent outside of the Air Force, but most of it inside. And I'd say peer pressure got to me. Everyone else around me drinking, always constantly being events in the Air Force to where you could drink and get pretty much as wasted as you wanted to, and then head back to your dorm just to get more wasted because it was already a weekend. Normally we would have these events. And it was me and my now wife on base trying to get through this period. At the time we were both drinking. At this point in our lives now, neither one of us drank anymore. She was more on the liquor side of things and I was more on the beer sort of things. And it was no good for our relationship, to just say the absolute least. So that was one of the first points to where I started realizing, like, yeah, maybe if I want to keep this woman that I actually love around, I might need to check out this whole sobriety sort of situation. And I continued, we ended up getting married in 2019. And then I ended up getting out of the Air Force, and we were figuring out that. I was figuring out my career. She was figuring out what she wanted to do school-wise, and we were figuring out what we wanted to do together child-wise. And we made a decision. And in that, making that decision, I ended up deciding that, yeah, I really do need to figure out sobriety, because my drinking hadn't really slowed down too much since I had gotten out of the Air Force back in 2019, over those 2 years. And I started pushing for it. And what I mean by that is starting to look at people who were talking about sobriety, people who had actually done it, pulled it off, been successful for a little while, to see what steps did they take. And I tried those for myself. One of those things ended up being drinking a lot of water. So one, that you stay hydrated, because I was, of course, in Arizona and it's extremely hot out here, but also to take up the volume of liquid that my stomach could actually take in, lower that down. So I did that in combination with me that I could actually do a little bit of something with myself, because ADAP, which I had gone through in the military to try and stop my drinking, it had not really been that successful whatsoever for me. And I wasn't really sure if I could stop drinking at that time, or at least really wanted to. And that kind of became one of the important things too for me, is to actually want to stop drinking, because you're going to need to, and have something important enough to you to do it for, to stop drinking for. And my daughter was that for me. My daughter, my relationship with my wife, wanting something better out of it versus what I've gotten in my past. Not necessarily saying that, for instance, my mom was a drinker, or really even my dad, because he wasn't really around like that, even though he was a drinker. But yeah, that was my motivation, and the results of my motivation are me being sober, me being able to advance in my career over time, me being able to find other like-minded people wherever I go, whether it's online or in person at work somewhere, that has also realized sobriety was for them. It has definitely helped, and hopefully this can help you. You can check the link in the description for more from me on this subject, and I will put out more videos and keep you informed on my journey. Alright, see you. Like, share, subscribe. Alright.